it is bad news for the WNBA that she's not continuing to play.
W thinks that they don't have to pay us more. Commissioner talked about us being able to make $700,000. That's not true at all.
The basketball world has been shocked by Caitlin Clark's decision to leave the WNBA and join a European league.
Our biggest star in the league, Caitlin Clark, is only making a base salary of around $76,000. From the sounds of this interview, it seems like she's probably going to make more money overseas in EuroLeague than she did during this WNBA season.
One of the most captivating players in women's basketball, her move has caused a crisis for the league and its supporters. How are Caitlin Clark's supporters responding to this abrupt change? And might this be the start of a significant movement in women's basketball?
I may not talk about the WNBA again until April.
Well, okay.
Trust me, I'm not going to be watching. I can't.
In addition to her incredible skill, Caitlin Clark has become well known in the basketball world for her ability to attract viewers and fans with her unrivaled long-range shooting. Court viewing things have drastically changed since Caitlin Clark decided to leave the WNBA and play in Europe. This decision raises many questions, particularly given how well-liked she was by fans and how much of an impact she had on the league. The answer boils down to money, respect, and how the WNBA has treated its players. Clark rose to prominence in the WNBA very quickly, and her games were the most watched in the league. In the WNBA, Caitlin Clark was only earning roughly $76,000 annually, which is much less than what she could make abroad. European leagues give their top players more respect and benefits in addition to higher salaries. Players like Caitlin Clark receive the acknowledgement they are due in these leagues. Embrace their top athletes by providing them with better pay and a more encouraging atmosphere. For a player like Clark, who has contributed significantly to the WNBA and women's basketball, the disparity in treatment within the WNBA was difficult to overlook. Clark experienced physical abuse on the court, and the league did little to stop it. She was frequently shoved, pushed, and even hurt during games without receiving any penalties, and the league's lack of assistance may have played a part in her decision to quit. The departure of Caitlin Clark has caused a serious crisis for the WNBA. The WNBA is currently struggling to find a way to bounce back from this loss, as viewership has already taken a serious hit, with ratings falling by almost 50% since her decision to leave. Fans who used to watch her play are now losing interest in the league. Even though big names like A.A. Wilson and Breanna Stewart are still playing, it's not just about the money. Although Caitlin Clark has always been a player who gave her all to her team and the sport, the WNBA did not provide her with the support she required despite profiting from her fame. The league frequently permitted criticism and even physical violence against Clark in the hopes that it would spark conversations and boost viewership. But now that she is gone, the WNBA is realizing that they may have taken her for granted. This crisis is the result of the WNBA's failure to adequately protect and value its players. The fact that the WNBA couldn't provide Caitlin Clark with a better offer in terms of money and respect speaks volumes about the league's current situation, and her decision to leave is a clear indication that the league needs to make significant changes if it hopes to retain its best players. It's no surprise that more and more WNBA players are thinking about switching to Europe. In fact, the trend of players leaving the WNBA for Europe has been increasing over the years, but Clark's decision is by far the most significant. The European leagues, on the other hand, appear to recognize the value of players like Caitlin Clark. They provide their athletes with better salaries, better benefits, and more recognition. The WNBA has always struggled to maintain high ratings, but with Caitlin Clark gone, the league is facing a viewership crisis that it may not be able to recover from easily. The departure of Caitlin Clark has also had a significant impact on the league's playoff ratings, as her exit ratings have plummeted and playoff games drawing far fewer viewers than before. In one playoff game featuring top players like A.A. Wilson, the viewership was down nearly 50% compared to previous games that Clark played. More than just a famous player, Caitlin Clark attracted casual fans who might not have watched the WNBA otherwise. Her games regularly drew over 1 million viewers, which was uncommon for the league prior to her arrival. Without her, the league is losing not just a player but also a major factor in the attendance. Many Caitlin Clark fans are left wondering what the future holds for both her and the WNBA, whether more players will follow her example and move to Europe where the pay and respect are higher, and what this means for women's basketball in the US. The WNBA will have to find a way to bring back the excitement that Caitlin Clark provided to the game, or it risks losing even more viewers and talent. There's no doubting that Caitlin Clark's influence on the WNBA was huge from the moment she joined the league. She changed the way people regarded women's basketball. Her long-range shooting, court vision, and ability to take over games made her one of the most exciting players to watch. Fans loved her, and her presence on the court made every game she played in a must-watch event. But now that she's gone, the WNBA is struggling to keep fans interested. Playoff games that would have been packed with viewers are now drawing significantly lower numbers. The league's dependence on Caitlin Clark has become painfully clear, and without her, they are finding it hard to sustain the same level of excitement and engagement from fans. The WNBA also faces the dilemma of how to reward its top players heading ahead. Caitlin Clark's departure should serve as a wake-up call for the league. If they continue to underpay and underappreciate their biggest stars, more players will likely follow in Clark's footsteps and leave for Europe or other opportunities where they can earn more and receive the respect they deserve. The issue of pay in the WNBA has been a hot topic for years, and Caitlin Clark's departure has brought it back to the forefront. Many players feel that the WNBA doesn't value them as much as it should, and Clark's decision to leave highlights the fact that the league needs to do more to support its players. The salary limitation in the WNBA limits what players can earn, and even the top stars are making far less than their peers in Europe or other leagues. Caitlin Clark was making around $76,000 a year in the WNBA, which is a decent salary, but when you compare it to what she could be making in Europe, it's clear why she made the decision to leave. European leagues not only offer higher salaries, but they also provide better benefits and more respect for their star players. Clark's transfer to Europe is an indication that the WNBA needs to rethink its compensation system if it wants to keep its finest players. In addition to the salary issue, the way the WNBA handled Caitlin Clark's time in the league was another aspect that may have contributed to her decision to depart. Clark faced a lot of physical aggression on the court, and the league did little to protect her. In one playoff game, she ended up with a black eye after being shoved by an opposing player, and yet no penalty was called. This kind of treatment is unacceptable for any player, let alone one of the league's biggest stars. Caitlin Clark's departure has left a huge gap in the WNBA, and the league is now rushing to figure out how to move forward. With ratings declining and fans losing interest, the WNBA must find a way to keep the enthusiasm alive. But without Clark, that's going to be a tough challenge. The future of women's basketball in the US is unknown now that Caitlin Clark has left for Europe. Will additional players follow her route, or will the WNBA find a way to improve conditions for its stars? Only time will tell, but one thing is obvious: Caitlin Clark's choice has had a lasting impact on the league, and the WNBA will have to work hard to recover from this problem. In the end, Caitlin Clark's decision to join a European league illustrates the ongoing issues inside the WNBA, from inadequate pay to a lack of respect for its top players. If the league hopes to retain its stars and keep expanding, it must make some big changes. The WNBA needs to take steps in response to Caitlin Clark's departure so that more players don't choose to quit. The WNBA is in a difficult position as a result of Caitlin Clark's relocation to Europe. As the league works to move past this significant setback, fans are left wondering what the future holds. If you like this video, please remember to like it. Additionally, subscribe for more women's basketball updates. Share your thoughts about Caitlin Clark's choice and its implications for the WNBA going forward in the comments section. Watch this space for other tales about your favorite athletes.